Morning, freshmen. Today we are going to start taking a look at the 13 colonies and what makes each portion of the original 13 colonies unique. Before we get started, let's review. Here's our key ideas and vocab for the week. And here are guided notes. In the beginning, all of the English colonies were dependent upon their mother country of England for manufactured goods. By the middle of the 1700s, New England was establishing independence in trade with England by creating their own manufactured goods, and the southern colonies began to trade with New England shippers and manufacturers. As the colonies depended less on England for goods, they became more interdependent with each other. When the regions of the 13 colonies depended on each other for goods, for living and making money, this was called economic interdependence. In New England, rocky soil and a cold climate made farming difficult. However, the lands were rich in forests. The Atlantic Ocean near the New England colonies was very good for fishing, whaling, shipbuilding, and trading. Because farmers could only make enough food to feed their families, during the non-farming season, they had to find jobs in fishing, shipbuilding, trading, logging, or trapping animals for fur. Manufacturing to turn raw materials into a finished product also developed in New England. England encouraged the shipbuilding industry because its own forests were all cut down. In shipbuilding, colonists in New England built ships that could be used for trade and fishing. New England also developed an industry making molasses into an alcoholic drink called rum. The warm climate and fertile soil of the coastal plain allowed the southern colonies to grow cash crops, including tobacco and cotton. These crops were grown on large plantations, which required a lot of workers. To do the work, colonists brought slaves from Africa. The southern colonies traded their cash crops to Europe as well as the other colonial regions. If the southern colonies did not have slaves to work on their farms, they would not make as much money or be able to produce as many cash crops. As the colonies grew, they could produce more things for themselves. They stopped trading with England and started trading more with each other. One example of the growing interdependence among the 13 colonies was textile manufacturers in the north trading for cotton from southern plantations. As we've learned, the South depended heavily on slavery. They had the perfect climate and soil for farming and built large plantations and brought them very much fortune. Because of these large farms, they needed slaves in order to work the land. In the north, there were more large cities in which people owned their own stores or specialized in certain skills. The need and desire for slavery was much less. Eventually, people in the North began speaking out about how they believed slavery should be abolished, and the people in the South did not like this. It began major conflict, and they eventually had a war about it. Now it's your turn to take your notes and turn them into a picture to help you remember what you've learned.